Hello there. What's going on, everybody? Today, we're not talking Star Wars. We're actually going to be talking about Marvel Crisis Protocol and some of the new things that were announced during Gen Con and specifically the X-Men. And it's a really exciting wave coming out for this game because it's probably been the by far number one most requested, venue of Marvel stuff to be added to this game. And as a big fan of the 90s Jim Lee style X-Men, and the cartoon, the animated series, and watching those in the mornings. Loved this show growing up too. While my introduction to the X-Men might not have been through the comics, it was definitely through the cartoon, and this is definitely pulling a page from that art style. This is very, very, very similar to that. I mean, there's some minor tweaks, but for the most part, it's like pulled straight from the the 90s, and I love the 90s X-Men look. Want to talk about kind of how they're doing this, what I think is going to be coming after this, because they did say there's more X-Men coming. And of course, we're going to get non-X-Men stuff too. They also announced, Kingpin, Daredevil, a lot of other, Angela, Enchantress, a whole bunch more expansions are all coming out from all different corners of the Marvel Universe. But as far as the X-Men specific stuff, and that is actually marked with a little X-Men symbol up on the top of these boxes, where there's going to be a little delay before we get the next wave. But this first wave is a whopper. It's 4 boxes, is 8 heroes, 8 characters, because you can mix and match and you can build your dream team here, so everybody can be a hero because they're all fighting for you, right? So we've got Cyclops and Storm, we've got Mystique and Beast, we've got Magneto and Toad, and we've got Wolverine and Sabretooth. Now, I love this. I love this a whole lot, and I just think there's so many really great things about the way that they've paired these. I think there's really good things about, in some cases you're getting 2 heroes together. In some cases you're getting 2 villains together. So if you're just interested in a specific team, there's that aspect going on. In some cases you're getting people that just kind of match up. Mystique and Beast may be the weakest pairing of these, but there's certainly a connection when it comes to the movies, more so than the animated series. Oh, also the fact that they're both blue. But Wolverine and Sabretooth, absolutely. That's like what a great pairing, right? And like running them together, like I don't know if I'd want to run them together, and they might get rowdy, But this is just going to be such a great set. They're having alternate head sculpts, and I've talked a little bit about this. Some different ways that you can build them too. You can kind of take a page straight from the 90s cartoon and have Scott with the red hair showing, or you can go change it up a little bit and give him the blue top, and there's a lot of little things like that they're changing up with this. Love it. So what else might they be doing, right? Once that next wave does roll around, what do we think is going to be in the next wave? Well, I think one thing they could do, if we see a couple more like 2-packs, and if they want to keep going with 2-packs, I think that's they probably won't always be 2-packs, but I'll talk about a couple of 2-packs I think we might see, sticking with the same theme. Like if they wanted to put heroes together, right? I think Colossus is a must-have. But I think Jubilee is like a past character, so I feel like those two kind of go together, right? A lot of times they'll do this, like they'll take a character that you might not have wanted to get, but they'll pair it with another character that's like, all right, I might as well grab Jubilee also because she comes with Colossus, right? You're definitely going to want Colossus for the X-Men, right? You want a big tanky good guy, Colossus. And Colossus is probably a little more popular than before because he also got to show up in the Deadpool movies. Oh, by the way, Deadpool's also coming, but they kind of spoiled him already, so I'm going to do more just predictions right here. I do think Deadpool will probably come with Domino. That's kind of my guess there, but we'll see. I might be wrong about that. He might just come by himself. He might break all the rules. He may come in like a plastic box instead of a cardboard box. He may come pre-painted just to totally mess with everybody. I mean, that would be really funny. Anyway, so I think Colossus and Jubilee works. I think maybe you could do like, Nightcrawler is definitely going to be wanted. I feel like maybe he would pair with Psylocke as a possibility, or maybe not. Maybe he doesn't have to do that at all. I think that'd be a kind of a cool box set. And of course, we got to do, I think, the number one most requested, hey, how come this isn't included in the initial launch wave, Gambit and Rogue. I think they have to come together. I think out of everybody that has to come together, it's got to be Gambit and Rogue. Of course, if they put them separately, that'd be a cruel twist of fate to play on the fan base. But, you know, whatever. I mean, I'm going to buy them all and review them all. I actually pre-ordered the X-Men. I don't usually pre-order Marvel Crisis Protocol because it's a game I play a little bit more casually, well, a lot more casually. I play it strictly just for fun. I have no interest in going to tournaments for it. I play it just for a super fun miniatures game that's best to just play kind of casually, not super serious. So, considering a Gambit and Rogue here, not all of the 2-packs are probably going to be, both of the same alignment, right? Like maybe some good guy and bad guy combinations. I think a perfect one for that would be Pyro and Iceman, right? Like I feel like that's like such a perfect combination to have in the same pack. I'm curious if you guys agree or not. I love the idea of Pyro and Iceman being together because that's just a perfectly thematic, a fire and ice kind of pack. Similar, and a lot of these are drawing from inspiration from the cartoon. But Black Tom, even though this is actually an image from the comics, but Black Tom, Cassidy, and Banshee, right? They're brothers. Their powers can't hurt each other. I feel like that kind of is a thing to do. I don't know. That's from a great arc too. Then it was from the Phoenix. They were all they showed up in the Phoenix Saga, I believe, which was such a good arc for the show. Speaking of that, what about single packs? Juggernaut. Oh yes, Juggernaut's absolutely got to be a single pack. He's gonna be like Hulk, right? Maybe bigger. Juggernaut, momentum. He practically writes himself. He's gonna be amazing. What would his mental defense be? Like permanent, right? Maybe once he gets flipped over and the helmet's off on the other side, now his mental defense comes down significantly. Oh man, he practically writes himself. I can't wait to have Juggernaut. See, going back to the video games, in Marvel vs. Capcom 2, I always use Juggernaut. And just to call him in, so he'd come in and be like, Juggernaut punch! And by the way, you're going to lose a victory point anytime you say, I'm the Juggernaut, bitch. You cannot say that during your games. Unless they actually put a card in there for that, but I don't think there's any chance they'll do that. I wonder if they'll play into the meme culture for it a little bit though. But Juggernaut's like they did that in the movie in X-Men 3. Can you believe? I remember watching that at the time thinking like, oh my god, they did it. But go back and watch it now, you're like, oh my gosh, they did that. It's funny how some things age well and some things don't. But yeah, no, Juggernaut. Huge, maybe one of my favorite villains, just because he's just so much fun. If only he had nunchucks, he'd be better. Almost like nunchucks there. And Omega Red's got some nasty little carbonadium coils. I'd love to see Omega Red show up. He actually could show up with Colossus too, but that would be an expensive pack because that'd be two kind of bigger characters. I think Omega Red would be a bigger character because of it, the posing. You'd want him in a big pose with his coils going all over the place. And I don't think you're going to fit that on a small base. So I think he's at least a medium base. And Colossus might be able to fit him on a small base, but because he gets a lot bigger when he's powered up, I feel like he could be on a medium base as well. So I don't know if you're going to do 2 medium base characters in the same pack. Just not sure about that. But I like the idea of Omega Red. I feel like we're also eventually, kind of like how Thanos was an eventuality for the first year of Marvel Crisis Protocol, I feel like we're going towards Apocalypse, but rather than just jump to him for the next wave, what if we started kind of painting the way for the 4 Horsemen and we skip Angel altogether and go straight to Archangel. Archangel looks cooler. Archangel's way cooler, right? I don't know if you agree with me or not. I think he is. He's got freaking metal wings. That's so metal. What? Yeah, but no, Archangel, man, come on. Let's have Archangel in there. He doesn't have to be by himself. He could be with somebody else, but I don't know. Okay. And speaking of some more villains, another 2-pack. This would be 2 bad guys, but what about Blob and Avalanche? You know, I feel like that could work. You could have a small and maybe a large. I mean, Blob could be by himself. You know, they could take you know, they could pair Avalanche up with Pyro too if they don't want to do Iceman. You know, like Iceman could work with regular or Warren Worthington Angel if you wanted to do something like that. I feel like that would work too. Big one though, Sentinel. Right, we got to get a Sentinel. Oh my gosh, and I kind of want them to kind of step outside the box. I want them to come with a new base size, like a bigger base size than normal. Like I want a huge base like this big for the Sentinel, and I want them to be able to hold other characters, right? Like I want them to have like a hand like that. Maybe it can actually grip other characters. Like maybe I put a magnet in the hand so that it magnetizes, and I can put the base for another character in the hand or something like that. Like that would be super cool because how many of you guys ever played HeroClix? I remember like getting. I started playing HeroClix. I only played for like 1 or 2 games ever, so I'm not like I don't have a lot of HeroClix knowledge, but I remember getting the Sentinel, and like you could actually put other minis like in his hand, and I'm thinking like, oh my god, that's so cool. So yeah, and I know a lot of people have been talking about the HasLab Sentinel that was going on. I think that's gonna be way too big for this game, even as like terrain. The only thing I think you could do with that giant, like that 2 foot tall thing is if you wanted to do it sitting in a chair and put the Master Mold helm or head on it, and then you could have it be like, say, I am Master Mold, you know, and I'm pooping out all these Sentinels. I think something like that could probably work. I think at some point you also have to do Jean Grey. I don't know if you do. I don't know which version you do first. Like, I mean, I think so. Here's what I think. I think you'll probably just do a regular cartoon version of Jean Grey, like by herself, like pair her with somebody else from the X-Men. But I think when we get to Phoenix or Dark Phoenix, I think there's gonna be two options. I think it should be kind of like an epic expansion. Maybe they'll only give you one model because it's the only really the difference between Phoenix and Dark Phoenix is just the sculpt. I mean the paint job, really, right? So maybe it's an incentive. Maybe they'll say like, who wants to buy a second one and do Dark Phoenix, or whatever. And maybe she'll have a mode where she's regular Phoenix, and then once you wound her, you know, she flips over and now she's Dark Phoenix, and she's like way more powerful. Or maybe they'll make them 2 separate expansion packs. You know, maybe you'll just use Phoenix as a you know actual character. Like there might be a fieldable version of Phoenix, kind of like there's a fieldable version of Thanos outside of the epic scenario stuff. That would be cool. And the last one on my list, Professor X. Like I've been seeing a lot more wheelchair characters in pop culture and in miniatures and D&D and everything lately, and I think that's awesome to have more inclusivity. And I think Professor X is like kind of like one of the original wheelchair superhero, right? Like so, let's totally put Professor X in this game, and he could be really interesting. He could have a whole different play style, you know, whole different like he could do. Granted, he might be a little bit too strong. You know, like there are things that exist already in the game that allow you to maybe take control of other characters. I imagine you'd have to make some kind of psionic roll, like roll against their magical defense, because that's also like magic or mind. And if you win the roll, instead of dealing damage, you get to, you know, take an action with them, something like that. Maybe move them off of an objective, make them drop an objective, or attack somebody, something like that. You know, who knows? Or maybe like there's 2. Maybe there's like just to make them move or drop an objective is one thing, but if you want to make them actually attack somebody, then maybe it has to be a whole separate power. Maybe it costs you like 4 power to do the like. Because it's one thing to make somebody take a step. It's another thing to make them turn on their friends, right? Like, I don't know. But, like, I'd love to see Professor X show up in the game. And, get, you know, plus, you want to get the whole team, right? You want to get everybody at some point. And that's why I even put Jubilee on here. But I know there's other X-Men that I did not mention. There's lots. And there's a lot of villains that go in here that I did not mention, like Sinister or the Hellfire Club or all kinds of stuff like that. There's plenty more. There's plenty more that could be done. I just want to give you a couple that I think out of all of this stuff, we'll probably see some of it in the next wave. And you know what? I cannot wait to see. But I would love to hear what you guys think. Are you excited for the X-Men coming to Marvel Crisis Protocol? Have you been considering trying out Marvel Crisis Protocol, and maybe this is the thing that brought you in? Let me know down in the comments below. There's still that giveaway going on right now for that $25 Amazon gift card. You just have to be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. It's as simple as that. That's going to run for a couple of weeks. I usually announce winners at the end of my videos. So also be sure and check down below in the description for links to merch, Facebook, Twitter, social media stuff, Patreon, Discord, if you want to hop into Discord and chat. All of that stuff is down in the description below. All right, you guys, that's all I've got today. I want to thank so much to all of you for watching. Big thanks to my patrons as well. I could not do this without you. Thank you guys so much. I will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much, and as always, have a great day.